We are running organizations through a 4-day course to give them best practices on governance. And we have run a beta group, which I put my entire board through, and then we have we've now started to develop cohorts based on our funding priorities. So we're selecting 8 organizations that serve very specific areas within our community, and we're training them to be as effective and efficient as they can possibly be. We're bringing in fundraising professionals who have raised $400 million. We're bringing in lawyers who've done nothing but nonprofit law. We're bringing in accountants who do nothing but nonprofit finance. And we're trying to give all of the organizations that we're in contact with some of the best exposure to best practices that we can. We're trying to come up with some outcome measurements to show that this is actually working for us, and we're in the process of that right now because we want to be able to show our donors and show the community that we're making proper investments. But the best thing was said to me here the other day. One of the members of our first group, her name is Ashley, she went through as an executive director of her organization. And I had to say that this certificate in nonprofit governance is designed for executives, for staff, and board members to go through together. Because of every responsibility of an organization, the staff person has certain responsibilities relating to finance, and the board has certain responsibilities relating to finance, actually of all 10 areas. But anyway, Ashley went through as an executive director in the first cohort. Now, an organization that she's a board member of is going through the second cohort. And what she said to me, she said, I found it very, very hard to answer these pre-assessment questions that these organizations have to take. Because I know that the organization whose board I'm sitting on thinks that they're doing a really good job. However, I've been through the program, I've been through the course, I know that they're not doing a good job. And I said, to myself, wow, someone has reprogrammed the way that they're thinking. That, to me, is enough for me to know that we're at the beginning of something great as far as this nonprofit training goes. The Community Foundation, Galesburg Community Foundation, serves primarily Knox County. We have definitely granted outside of our county borders in the past and work outside of our county borders. As Jen said, I'm from Roseville, which is in Warren County, and so that's just to the south of Knox County, and that's home, and so not necessarily by design, but we've granted around 10% of everything we've given back to date into Warren County as well. We think that we can definitely service that area and really service right around the borders of Knox County. Currently, the endowment of the Community Foundation is right around $19 million. We have some, again, unique things within our Community Foundation that others don't necessarily have to worry about. We have some retail locations that we manage that support the Foundation's charitable activities. We also have some production ag land. We have some commercial rental properties. Up until about a year ago, we had some residential rental properties. We have a fairly diversified portfolio. I had said early on, in 2008 is when we did our strategic plan. We now are evaluating what that strategic plan is and where we are and what our vision is. We've made significant progress in about 70% of what we set out in that strategic plan. And so, we're going to be spending some time reevaluating what our priorities are. And I think that's probably the biggest thing for organizations to do is, the continual self-reflection, if you will, whatever it is that you want to call it, just to make sure that you're on the right track. What has changed in the last 18 months? I think that your community knows a lot, about what can happen in a very short window of time. When I started in 2008, I'm sure that the bankers in the room will remember what September of 2008 was and what started to happen. When I started in July, we had to redirect, we had to change course, we had to think about what was happening. And that's what we see as far as nonprofits don't necessarily take the time to consider. You know, they're doing good work, they're providing programs, they're providing services, but are they taking that time to self-reflect and say, okay, well, am I, you know, being impactful? Am I using dollars as best as I can use them? Am I needed? Is this still needed for the community, or should I redirect to something else? Knox County has over 300 nonprofits, and so we're working to try to tool those nonprofits to serve in a way that we don't think business can serve, we don't think government can serve, because we think it's the role of the nonprofit. And we think the Community Foundation is the best organization in Knox County to resource those nonprofits. So in a quick 5-7 minutes, however long I talk there, that's what the Community Foundation does. I did realize you guys have your own community foundation, and so I don't know if there's questions about what your community foundation does in comparison to what Galesburg Community Foundation does, or what anyone might have questions about. But you know, our community foundation feels that building a permanent philanthropic resource to sustain programs needed for our community is what our niche should be, and that's how we're identifying ourselves, and that's how we're trying to work for the areas that we serve. So, yes?
As you say, the start of your organization came from the cottage hospital, assets of that, the building itself. You folks, what did you do with the building? How did you...
It wasn't necessarily the building. The cottage hospital was sold to a for-profit hospital corporation. So the nonprofit foundation that supported the hospital's operations turned into the Galesburg Community Foundation.
Assets as opposed to...
Some of the assets, you know, like a hospital normal operation, you know, they kind of buy their neighbors so they can control if they wanted to expand. We inherited those assets that were owned by the foundation, and they were held by the foundation to be able to give to the hospital. So that's where all of our rental properties came from. But we had those rental properties when most community foundations had cash invested in the stock market, and when the stock market dropped, our value of our portfolio was not hit the same way that theirs was.
What about some of the grants that you've been given?
Yeah, we fund in basically 4 priority areas. Again, education, access to the arts, physical activity, and healthcare. We've given to, gosh, I think last year it was 45 different organizations, something like that. We've given to our local health department that just did a free dental day for residents within our communities. So people who haven't been able to afford dental insurance were able to come in and get immediate treatment. They had cavities filled, they had teeth pulled, they had basic things like that. Everyone got a teeth cleaning, and that was